Hello everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar session. I'm Meena, working for Syncfusion as a software engineer. In this session, I'll show you how to create a customer survey report using our React Circular 3D chart component. Along with this, I will also share exciting updates of Volume 1 2024 release in Blazor and EJ2 platforms. Without much delay, let's get started. In this webinar, I am going to show you how to visualize a customer survey report using React Circular 3D charts. In this example, I am not going to create any feedback report. Instead, I am going to visualize the report in 3D representation using our brand new React Circular 3D chart component. The React Circular 3D charts provide a graphical representation of data in three dimensions with each slice size indicating its proportion relative to the entire data set. Unlike traditional 2D charts, 3D charts add depth to visualization, providing a better understanding of data patterns. Okay, let's get started with the application. Before proceeding, make sure you have installed the latest version of Node.js and React. I'll be using Visual Studio Code as my editor and showing the output in the Microsoft Edge browser. I'm opening an existing React application where I have already created a simple bar chart that visualizes the customer survey report of a particular product. As you see here, I imported the necessary modules from the EJ2 React Charts package and injected them. You can see the data source here. Okay, let me run this application using the npm start command to show the initial output. See, the bar chart has been rendered that visualizes the customer feedback report. Now, let's proceed to visualize this data using circular 3D charts. For that, first I need to install the Syncfusion EJ2 React Charts package. As I had already done this for the bar chart, I am skipping this step now. Next, let's import the Circular Chart 3D component module from the EJ2 React Charts package. I will also import Circular Chart 3D series collection directive and circular chart 3D series directive modules from the package. Next, let me create a data source for the circular chart. I'm using the same data which I used for the bar chart with an addition text field. To render the chart in Pi series, I import the Pi series 3D module from the charts package. Then, inside the division tag, I add the circular chart 3D component tag. I inject the Pi series 3D module in the inject services. To bind data to this chart, I add circular chart 3D series collection directive tag which accepts n number of circular chart 3D series directive tags. As I am going to add a single series, let me add one circular chart 3D series directive tag. Then I assign the data source object circular data to the data source property. Then I bind the field X to the XName property and Y field to the YName property. To visualize the circular chart in 3D view, I add the tilt property and set -45 degrees slope angle. I also add a suitable title for the chart using the title property. That's all. We have done basic steps to render a circular 3D chart. See now, the data in the bar chart is visualized as a 3D circular chart here. Next, I will add data labels to this circular chart. For that, I import the circular chart data label 3D module from the charts package. I will also inject the same in the inject servers. Within the circular chart 3D series directive tag, I add the data label property, set its visibility to true. For the display text, I will bind the text field from the data source to the name property. Then I set the position of the data label as outside. See now, the circular 3D chart is rendered with data labels. To display these data labels more clearly, I add a few properties like font weight and connector style with appropriate values. See, the data labels are displayed clearly. Next, let's make this chart interactive by adding legends. I import the circular chart legend 3D module from the EJ2 React Charts package. I also include the module in the inject service. Then, within the circular 3D chart component tag, I add the legend settings property and set its visibility to true. See, the legends are rendered for the circular 3D chart. Here, the legends display at the auto position. Apart from this default position, it can also be displayed at top, bottom, right, left, and custom positions. Now I will display it at the bottom by setting the position property to the bottom. Look now, the legends are displayed at the bottom. Next, I will add the tooltip. I import circular chart tooltip 3D module from the charts package and inject it. Then I add the tooltip property and turn on the enable property. See, the tooltip is displayed when I hover over the data series. Now, let's see how to enable rotation in the chart. I set the enable rotation property to true. See, I can easily rotate the chart for in-depth view of chart in all angles. Next, I will enable exploding by setting the explode property to true and explode offset as 30%. Check now, I can explode the chart slices. Finally, I'll show you how to convert this pie series to donut series. I set the inner radius property to 60%. Now you can see the circular chart is rendered as donut chart. That's all about this example. Next, let me take you through the updates in the Syncfusion Blazor components for Volume 1 2024 release. First, let's see the new component that has been launched for the Volume 1 release. Timeline is the new component that got launched. The timeline component is used to display a series of data in chronological order. It provides a visually compelling and user friendly experience. It can be used for showcasing user activities, narrating historical times, tracking progress, and so on. Let me show you an example for timeline component. Here you see the timeline component is used for a travel itinerary. This example depicts some of the important features like orientation, opposite content, items alignment, and so on. As you see here, we can display this timeline component both in horizontal and vertical direction. The next feature is opposite content. It displays additional information about the particular item opposite to that item content. You can also display icons on the timeline items. Items content and opposite content can be aligned in different positions like before and after, alternate and alternate reverse. The next important feature in this component is reverse timeline. You can display the timeline in the reverse order. We also have template support for customizing the default appearance of the timeline component. That's it about the new component launched for this release. Next, let's see the feature updates. The first update is the floating label feature in the data form component. This floating label feature smoothly transits the labels to the top of the input field when you start typing the value. This provides a clear information to the user on what information needs to be provided. The next feature is in Blazor diagram. The Blazor diagram now provides support for the swim lane diagrams. Now you can easily draw swim lane diagrams both programmatically and interactively. This swim lane is a visual element used to showcase complex processes that involve multiple participants or departments in an organization. The next update in the Blazor diagram is line routing. This feature ensures that connectors won't overlap with neighboring nodes when they are in contact. It results in more organized and streamlined visual representation. Next, let's see the updates in word processor. The word processor now provides support for saving the document as a Word template, that is .x format. .x files are template files that are used in Microsoft Word to create documents with predefined formatting and styles. The next update in the word processor is in Color Picker. Now you can customize the appearance of the color picker with the mode switcher to switch between the picker and the palette. Next, a few enhancements have been made to comments resolved state. The next update is we have provided change case support in the word processor. It allows us to change the capitalization of the selected text without having to retype it. We have support for sentence case that capitalizes the first letter of the selected text, lowercase that converts all letters to lowercase in the selected text, capitalize each word, capitalizes the first letter of the each word in the selected text, then toggle case. Using this option, you can change the uppercase to lowercase and lowercase to uppercase. The next update is that we have navigate heading support. Now we can navigate through the document by selecting the headings that appears in the navigation pane. Next, I will show you what are the updates available in Blazor Excel library. A few enhancements are added to the chart to image conversion feature. Line caps for line chart are now preserved. The line dash style for line and scatter charts are now preserved. The manually positioned chart titles are preserved. The 100% stacked line chart can be converted to an image now. The axis titles text is wrapped. The multi-level category labels now render properly. Next, There are two updates in the file manager component. One is support for the flat data. Now we can render flat data objects using the file manager component. The other support is custom sorting. Using this support, you can override the standard sorting mechanism and do custom sorting based on your application requirements. The next update is in the Gantt chart. In the Gantt chart, we have provided support for splitting a task. If you want to display the unexpected interruption that occurred in the task, you can display the interruption by splitting it, which indicates that the rest of the work will restart later in the schedule. Next, coming to DataGrid, we have four new updates. The first is support for exporting grid with detailed template. Now you can export DataGrid with detailed template which may contain images, hyperlinks, and customized text. Next, we have added four new operators to the filtering feature. They are is null, is not null, is like, and is not like. The same feature is available in Pre-grid component as well. The next update is adding current selection to the filter checkbox. We have provided support for Excel-like filtering in which we can keep the previously selected checkbox filters when making additional changes. By enabling the current selection checkbox, you can achieve this. This feature is also available in Pre-grid component. The last update in the data grid is that now we provide support for rearranging multiple rows within the grid and between the grids. The same feature is available in pre-grid component as well. The next update is in the maps component. Now we have provided tooltip support for polygons. Tooltips and tooltip templates can be displayed for polygon shapes. These tooltip templates can contain custom items such as images, text, and HTML elements. Next, let's see what is the update in the PDF viewer component. Now you have support to customize the primary toolbar in the PDF viewer. This functionality allows you to tailor your toolbar exactly to your needs, like adding new items, hiding existing ones, and repositioning items for optimal workflow efficiency. Next, we have a supporting PDF library, remote go to action in PDF. This feature allows you to add or modify remote actions that navigate to an external PDF document. Users can easily add links to a specific page or location of another PDF document. We also have an enhancement in digital signature. Now you can effortlessly add signature and timestamp certificates to the PDF document, ensuring greater security and compliance with PDF standards. A few enhancements have been made to HTML to PDF conversions. Then we have an update in the Blazor pivot table. Now we have provided support for single y-axis for multiple values in pivot chart. This support enables the pivot chart series for multiple meshes to be drawn on a single y-axis rather than separate axes. Then we have few updates in PowerPoint library. The first is we have support for cropping an image in PowerPoint presentation. Now the PowerPoint library includes APIs for cropping images within existing PowerPoint presentation. A few enhancements have been made to presentation merge. Then, a few enhancements have been made to PowerPoint to PDF and image conversions. Next, we have three updates in the Query Builder component. The first one is advanced query types. To improve the query functionality, the Query Builder has been expanded to accommodate query types including Mongo, parameterized SQL, and named parameter SQL. Users can seamlessly import these queries into the Query Builder for enhanced versatility. Next, we have log support in the Query Builder component. This lock option is available for rules as well as groups. When a rule is locked, the field operator and the value will be disabled. When a group is locked, all the elements within the group will be disabled. Lastly, we have clone support in the query builder component. The clone option is available for rules and groups. It will create an exact replica of a rule or group next to the original. That's all about the updates in the query builder. Next, we have an update in toolbar component. In the space toolbar, we have provided support for toolbar items alignment with CSS Flex to ensure a smoother loading experience for the users. The word library now supports the inclusion of \c and \a switches when updating the table of contents in a Word document. The purpose of these switches are \c includes caption of figures, tables, charts, and other items that are numbered by SEQ fields in TOC entries. \a it builds a table of captions by excluding caption labels and numbers. That's all about the updates in the Blazor platform for Volume 1 2024 release. Next, let's see the updates in the EJ2 platform. Okay, there is a common update. Now, Syncfusion React components are compatible with React framework. Let's start with the new components that have been launched for this Volume 1 2024 release. There are three new components. They are 3D circular charts, text area, and timeline. Let's see about these components one by one. First, 3D circular charts. As we have just seen in the beginning of the webinar, 3D circular charts is a graphical representation of data in three dimensions with each size indicating its proportion relative to the entire data set. Unlike traditional 2D charts, 3D charts add depth to visualization, providing a better understanding of data patterns. Let's see some of its key features. This 3D circular charts can be plotted by and donut types. Also provides supports for data labels, legends, user interactions such as rotation, tooltip, tilt, data point highlight, and selection. It also has support for print and export. It also has RTL support. Next, let's see the next new component, text area. The text area is a fundamental input element in web development that allows user to input multiple lines of text within a designated area such as comments, messages, or other lengthy content. This control is an extended version of the HTML text area element featuring clear icons, a floating label, various sizing options, validation states, and more. That's all about the new components. Now let's see the feature updates. The first on the list is in charts component. We have provided stripline dash array support in the charts component. This feature allows you to specify the dash array for all types of striplines border, including vertical, horizontal, and segmented types in the chart. The next update is in the PDF viewer. We are so excited to announce this latest update in the PDF viewer, that is Organize Pages feature. Now, managing PDF documents has become more easier than ever before. Using this feature, you can easily insert new pages wherever needed. And you can also rotate pages in the clockwise and counterclockwise direction with just a few clicks. You can also streamline the document management process by removing unnecessary pages easily. Next, we have an update in the context menu option. Now, you can easily personalize the context menu on PDF pages, which allows you to add new menu items above or below the existing ones. You can also provide the option to hide default menu items. Next, we have a few updates in the DataGrid component. The first update is spanning rows and columns with frozen rows and columns. Using this feature, you can easily span rows and columns with frozen rows and columns. This feature enables the creation of a visually appealing and informative layout. A few enhancements have been made to the traditional infinite scrolling feature in the data grid. Now, adding a new row to the data grid has become more easier. The grid content always presents an empty add new row edit form during initialization. You can display this add new row empty record at the top or the bottom of the grid. Next, we have undo and redo support in the Gantt chart component. Now you can easily revert or reapply changes made to the Gantt chart. This feature tracks changes in task scheduling, resource allocation, and other modifications. It allows you to make a quick correction of mistakes and refinement of project plans. Next, we have multi-task bars support in the Gantt chart. Using this feature, you can visualize multiple child tasks within the parent rows even when the parent records are collapsed. A few enhancements have been made to the PDF exporting in the Gantt chart component. Now you can easily export Gantt chart with various templates including header, taskbar, and label templates. Next, we have an update in the spreadsheet component. The spreadsheet now recognizes the culture based argument separator in the formula. For example, Excel files use semicolons as argument separators for formulas instead of commas in the German culture. Next, we have two updates in the pivot table component. The first one is single page mode. This support allows the pivot table to render only the rows and columns that are relevant to the current view page. This feature has improved the performance of the pivot table significantly during the initial rendering. Now we have provided value sorting support for the pivot table that is linked with the OLAP data source. The next update is in the multi-select dropdown component. Now we have provided virtual scrolling support for the multi-select dropdown component. This feature enables the user to navigate large lists of options efficiently without the need to load all the items at once. Next, we have a few updates in the ribbon component. The first is built-in gallery item. In addition to the existing built-in items, a new item, gallery, has been added to the ribbon component. The next update is contextual tabs. This feature allows user to display the ribbon tabs on demand based on their needs. Similar to the normal ribbon tabs, it supports adding all built-in and custom ribbon items to execute specific actions. Next, we have provided key tips support for the ribbon component. This feature enables you to quickly access the tabs or ribbon items by using defined unique key tips. Okay, that's all about today's webinar session. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.